back again today to finish what we had started yesterday. And that is figuring out who the hell killed Windibanks. Because it definitely was not Gina. Problem is we've got absolutely no witnesses, well, no direct witnesses. We got a small bit of evidence, and I'm not sure who could have done it otherwise, except for Eggs Benedict, but I don't know where he went. Susanto's not here with us this time. We've got Iris on this bench with us. Van Zeeks is still as grumpy as ever. He seems to be slightly less on our side now that he doesn't directly know that there's a third party who's the real criminal on the stand at the point in time. You know, we'll hopefully figure it out. I'm not sure if the Mario brothers are the killers. It seems relatively unlikely. But they shot someone. And that someone is Sholmes, but there's a good chance they hit someone else too, based on the blood. Where's Iris? You get the witnesses back up here. Hi, ye shady fellows, and Gregson. Assume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination. Yeah, Governor. I did, Gov, I did. Oh, blimey! Stop lying to us. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy lockets. How does the Russian understand that, but he doesn't know what an abdomen is? He knows British slang, but he doesn't know actual words regarding the human body. How did you figure that out? It looks like the short brother is not on the same page as the taller brother. Each line that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. Ooh! And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Oh, good. Van Zeeks threatened them into testifying for us. And then Gregson's just standing there. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we didn't rifle it or nothing. Just when we heard the gunshot, see? Made us both jump and that stuff went flying. Lummy. It didn't give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter'd come and get the door and get us next. Stuck everything back where we found it and scampered straight into him in the black. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? So you'd admit to the defense's accusations. Did indeed ransack Mr. Windibank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbroker under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. We say it already sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Cause he make us sound a bit more... Can't he make us sound a bit more cutthroat? Maybe coincidence these men showed up at Windibanks that night. It's more to their testimony than meets the eye, I'm sure of it. Right, Gregson? Alright, we did knock things over. We're in Riffle. Okay, let me get a little more info about this. Yeah, why didn't you tell us earlier? You were up to no good. Ay. luck, says the rotten apple eater. Witness, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right. Or like we tidied the place up. Sorry. Just when we heard the gunshot, see, it made us both jump and all that stuff went flying.
Hold it!
The sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter. So he's the older... Okay, so the red guy is the older brother, and the green guy is the younger brother. And Marionette knocked over a picture frame. Gunshot took you by surprise.
Is that right?
Gregson?
Excuse me!
Gregson? What do you have to say about this, Gregson? I keep saying I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something about their testimonies. God damn it, Gregson. It's probably nothing, of course. You don't bother to mention it, only. The fact is, cases don't go solved if you ignore the little details. I miss Hosonaga. Why couldn't he have come here with us? You know, we brought these trolls into yard for questioning last night. The statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. Did it? You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov, might have. Does ring a bell now that you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. Can't help feeling like perhaps you were a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? If I discover the witness's testimony has been more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to them, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy. Ooh, we'll get right on it this time. That's it, yep. It's all coming back to me now. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Right you are, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!" What? Hold on. Someone said, "Give me the gun," and then the gunshot rang out. But she already had the gun?
Hold it!
Braver in voice before the yell. You don't want to get shot. Give me the gun. Other side of the door behind the counter. The storeroom. Then how do you know it was his voice? Yes. Please. Why do these shady bunches always have to lie about everything? Why can't they just sprinkle a little bit of the truth in? gotta be important, right? Okay, I'm not sure if you've heard of this thing called evidence,
Objection!
but that's completely wrong. Saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winterbank, was wielding a gun, is that correct? That's it, Gov, you've got the picture. Yes, Nash, yes, no question. Yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows Mr. Winterbank was not in possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection!
You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? Ah. Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken at a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel. Yeah, that's right. Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer couldn't have been able to turn the tables on the girl, eh? Hardly likely. No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Continue with the cross-examination, counsel. Need my earlier warning, witness. Skulkins are always skulkins. Let's press this instead. Presenting didn't work, but also didn't lose us anything, so that's a sign we're missing something, probably. That's someone being himself, of course. Good grief, extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided. But he was shot in the back.
Hold it!
I want to hear more about this. Putting everything back. Why did you shoot Sholmes? Yeah. Hell yeah. A revolver.
Hold it!
Ah, you can try to open the storeroom door. There was a door in the door! Do you not remember how we looked in? What do I have in my court record that I got recently? Photograph. Crime scene plans. 2 guns. The Gina picture. The second picture. the stereoscope. Uh-huh. Yes. Is there evidence inside the stereoscope? Probably not. Okay. Can't do anything with that right now. Okay, that's probably not important yet.
Hold it!
So my obvious contradiction doesn't work yet. I did press this one already, right? Yeah, I think so.
Hold it!
Press it again just to be safe. They have to know it, right? checks the planet. I swear, if we have to get the Russian spy on the... like a picture of himself anywhere on here. There's an M. I can't help but think he's not looking at her, but at someone behind her. But how would you know that he was holding the gun? This one, maybe?
Objection!
No, that's wrong. My hand isn't trembling.
Objection!
So this works, but it doesn't work. Now does it work?
Objection!
What else do we have, though? Baskervilles. Foreign agencies, bullet to the back. Other signs of trauma. Maybe that's it? might be missing something obvious here, and I'm gonna look really dumb later, but I don't think that's it. Okay. We're gonna do the save scum strat because I am lost. Me taking a break between trial sections wasn't as good of an idea as I thought it would. First, autopsy report.
Objection!
No. That's different from the last one I got, which is where I presented the gun. The part where I present the gun?
Objection!
No. Ha. So I can't use the photograph. Can I the autopsy report?
Objection!
The wait, this is the picture, not the autopsy report. Okay. I do have the picture. He had no gun. Okay, I just needed to show a different piece of evidence, I guess.
Objection!
That's fine. Yep. That gun, bam.
Hold it!
Huh? Right to where you are, right there. Crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony. Gave rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where's the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the final moments? This.
Take that!
According to their testimony, witnesses claim to have heard a shout of, "Give me the gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. As I stated before, there's an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony. But it's the God's honest truth. It is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night, shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windibank holding a gun? Something like that must have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question they actually saw, with their own eyes, the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Arg, arg! Order, order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once. Well, the thing is, we weren't supposed to, It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. Made it quite clear that false witness would be the destiny. To understand, you replaced the untruths of your originally testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, we, cut it out, Nash, cut it out! We blab now, you know what it'll do to us? He? What are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you. Ruff, come on, the game's up. But you'll have our guts for garters. Case it hasn't sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. I didn't question. It is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. Demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which the meeting took place. Well, do we have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Otherwise, I will murder you myself here in this very courtroom. With my hollowed chalice. Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and the sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me the gun, he bellowed, and he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it. The old geezer, the bloke, was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. Pulled the gun on him, and then he legged it through the door into the back room. Never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all that happened, I swear. You're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry. Well, find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time, Nash, this time we've got nothing more to hide. Very well, counsel for the defense. You may proceed with your cross-examination. This is it, the moment I've been waiting for. These guys didn't do it, did they? Counter with the victim. Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me the gun, he bellowed, and he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it! Mr. Windibank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claimed that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? Yeah, you can't trust any witnesses these days. Yeah. The victim, Mr. Windibank, wielding a gun at the time. What's the ever? Blimey lummy. Great ugly barrel, head straight pointed at me frontispiece. Saw Mr. Windibank with the gun. He came at us, he did. Aha! Chucked you over the counter. Backed over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. Wasn't the gunshot that shocked you, made you knock those things over the counter. Went flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. The old geezer pinned him. Time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbroker. There's a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. Hold on, let me just... Ooh, this is new. Okay, goodbye. Thank you for the famous message. Or Mr. Windabank, he did everything he could to protect his shop. He got on him and then he legged it through the door into the back room.
Hold it!
Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windabank? No, never. I was just, looking out for me, bruv. He was being flattered. Where's the third gun, then?
Hold it!
So he had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Nothing got nothing. The old geezer went and shoved himself in the back room, didn't he? This isn't looking good. It could have been. When you've admitted you'd encountered the victim face to face that night. Of course, this trial changed completely. What is your point, my learned friend? Of course, what the answer is, who could have shot Mr. Windabank? It's the belief of the defense that defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In this case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the store, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect to two conundrums. Two, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe? Namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood. This is a piece of cake. Not entirely sure, but there's one thing I am sure about. I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened. It would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the question posed by his lordship. You believe someone else could have killed the victim. Indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. Right here, outside the door. Defense believes the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. Answer to the second question. Assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Inside the storeroom.
Take that!
Culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windabank died instantly from a bullet wound to his back. We have the stain of blood on the storeroom floor. It doesn't appear that the body was moved after death. It tells us he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? According to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony. Pulled the meat gun on him, and then he licked it through the door into the back room. Mr. Windabank ran away through the door. We have to assume that the door was open at the time. Ah! At precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life, the brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Ah, God! Think of it. Remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. Means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Oh man, Charlie was running as fast as he could to safety. Of course. Could have been leaning forward as he was running away. Seems the bullet was fired horizontally, but still entered your body in an upward trajectory. Culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winterbeck. Oh no, but he couldn't lock the door. Sure, my learned friend can't have forgotten. The storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. He claimed the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key into the lock? Someone else locked the door. There's someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. The scenario just described. The defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside? Gina.
Take that!
And then the dead body made her pass out. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant!
Objection!
That's absurd! You're suggesting the accused Oh, that's the wrong one. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room. For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. Inclined to agree, I must say. Counsel? Ah, yes, that's a tricky one, that isn't it? God, it's because they had a gun! Have big notions of no place in my courtroom, counsel. Please remember that. Of course Jenny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? I was Jenny in that situation. I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh yeah! Wow! Why didn't I think of that? Before they arrived, Lestrade and Windibank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windibank must have heard intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv! Your theory is correct. That would leave the accused alone in the store. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windibank fell to the floor and he was, just inside the storeroom. What to ask ourselves now is what would the defendant have done in that moment? Ah, I see where you're going with this! Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windibank. That thought struck Miss Lestrade. She slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it! We ain't, Gruff, we ain't! You gotta believe us! I mean, come on! We'd never shoot no one! It's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes! Only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to be the true perpetrators of Mr. Windibank's murder. Ugh. Yeah, gah! My horses leave us. To say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look shady as a dense forest. Members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. First time ever. Probably the last. Nope. An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zix? I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive. I dare say, such Chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. Such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly, cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. Uh-oh. Do you mean to tell me you're unaware of your logic's failing? I say, Lord Van Zeeks. Might be an idea to explain this bally conjuring trick or whatever to the troops on the ground, The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets! Oh dear, he noticed then. Huh? Counsel! Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two bullets! Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. That's presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mrs. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Did it actually? Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in this incident, the revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windibank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. Evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does! A single bullet from each! Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago. These two brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes! Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that if the single bullet was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means... Windibank not shot by same gun, stop! Only one bullet, stop! Exactly. Yes, this Japanese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument, however, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Warg! Order, order, order! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hollow nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zeeks! But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past ridden with criminal conduct. Truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. You can see beyond a doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with a murder weapon. I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. The disc! I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to Mr. McGilded has to be taken as evidence now. That music box is Miss McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windibank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. With none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add. By brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed. No crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact as its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel. As a grim testament to... Lord Van Zeeks, Inspector Gregson? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that disc wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? First time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecutor. I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. Prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed, bailiff. Prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. Hold on, I need to shoot this thing with the blood color gun. Shoot it! Come on, green! Show me the green, baby! Hey! We got green! Let's go! Wait, that color! It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? Well, Mr. Eggs Benedict, we're gonna have to bring you to the stand. There's nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once. For all of 5 minutes. Oh dear. It wasn't even for 5 minutes, real. My lord. Wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about a bit of fog up to now, truth be told, but all of a sudden... The answer's wholly obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh, no! Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Ay, caramba! We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. That's my line! I wrote that for Hurley! Or how dare he use it against us? Don't worry, guys, I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. Must be, because there's one thing I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank! There's a 5th person on the scene with a 3rd gun. Proceed with the 2nd summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? The narrative squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.